In the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or the IDEA, there is a section called procedural safeguards. These safeguards are put in place to protect the rights of a parent and their child with a disability. So as a parent of someone who has a disability, there are rights and safeguards put in place to protect you and your child. There are a lot of things to learn and be prepared for as a parent who has a child with a disability. Throughout the process, you will begin to understand your rights as a parent and the procedural safeguards that go along with that as well. One right you have is confidentiality. The IDEA and other laws help protect the confidentiality of your child's records. All information that is kept confidential is considered to be any personal identifiable information, who has access to the child's records, and any correctional information. It is in the school's responsibility to protect your child's confidentiality. They must keep your child's name, address, social security number, and other personal information confidential. There is also rights to native language. When the school provides you with any written notice, it must have language that is understandable to the general public, and it must be in your child's native language. This may also include Braille if your child has a eyesight disability, maybe they're blind or have a hard time seeing. There are some yearly expectations that come with these procedural safeguards and rights as well. Every year your child will be new and exciting. It's important to remember that you have the right to reevaluate your child's educational plan every year. You can work with the school district to continue to provide work for your child, or you can work with them to provide the best resources possible. Every year you will receive a copy of your procedural safeguards as well. Another thing that you have a right to do is a right to participate. Participating in your child's education is extremely important. It can be very rewarding. The right to participation is one that you'll have being a parent of a child with a disability. Parents have the right to participate in the child's identification, evaluation, educational placement, and their provisions of free, appropriate public education, or FAPE. This can also include participation in the child's IEP. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, is a law that protects your child's educational records and keeps them private. FERPA also allows you to have access to these records, and you can also request to change them. So this is another one of your rights. If the school does not correct these records, you have the right to a formal hearing under FERPA. Under FERPA, your child's records are safe and secure. However, there are a few situations that allow the school to release your child's records without your consent. An example of this could be a school your child is moving to, or health and safety officials. There is a right to a due process if you need one. Due process is a legal requirement that ensures that the state and all legal rights of an individual, that ensures that the state respects all the legal rights of an individual, If you and the school district and your child cannot come to an agreement on what is the best form to educate your child, you have the right to request a due process hearing. These due process hearings can be related to identification, evaluation, placement, or FAPE. It's important to remember that this is a formal legal process, and it could be helpful to have legal assistance. Before a due process hearing, it is common that the school districts will invite you to a resolution meeting. There are strict timelines for due process hearings and resolution meetings. You can find more information in your procedural safeguard notice. Another thing that you may come across is a prior written notice. A prior written notice is one of the procedural safeguards under the IDEA. Prior written notice is a legal right that is guaranteed to the parent if they have a child with an individualized education program or an IEP. This notice ensures that the school sends written explanations of any changes made to your child's education. This is a common occurrence. Schools are constantly making changes. It is important for you as the parent to stay informed so you can help aid in any of the decisions that are being made. The prior written notice must give parents an explanation of why schools want to make this change or are refusing to make a change that you, the parent, have requested. And then another right that you have as the child's parent is you can consent to testing. Before any school can take action, they must get your written consent. This allows you to make decisions about your child's education. Under the IDEA, there are 3 requirements for informed consent. First, you must be informed about what the school plans to do. This can be in the form of a letter. This is also known as prior written notice. Next, you must clarify in writing that you understand and agree to the following plan. And lastly, consent is voluntary and you can change your mind at any given time. So these are just some of the rights that parents have who have children with disabilities. As you can see, they are all placed to benefit each child and do what's best for the children.